There is something I would like to pose to you, gentlemen, seeing as we touched on the EFF and AfriForum case. It's interesting to me, and I've been saying this a lot because it's just so alarming to me. I cannot believe the deafening silence from opposition parties and mainstream media, and the mainstream media that, or corporate media that does speak about the trial, somehow tries to paint AfriForum and EFF as both the bad guys. Somehow they try and do that. So I thought, seeing as we're all here, perhaps Rob and Marius, you guys would like to comment on your thoughts about this. Marius, you can have the floor first.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a point been made many times by the people that Julius Malema is, to a degree, a creation of the media in South Africa. When he first, came to prominence, he hasn't. The things Julius Malema says, he hasn't changed. He's actually been quite consistent with some things. Not his support for Zuma is a bit different. His views on foreigners has changed a bit, but on some things he's been always quite consistent. His views on minorities, whether that's white people or Indian people, his views on the media in general. He's always been quite consistent on that. You just have to think back to when the guy's name was Jonah Fisher, I think, when Julius Malema was still head of the ANC Youth League. And Jonah Fisher asked him a question that he didn't like, I think was about a mansion that Julius Malema just bought or was building in Sandton or something. And Julius Malema completely lost his temper and he insulted the guy, told him to leave, told him he was a small boy and he had to get out of there. And, but then we still have the media fawning over Julius Malema and acting as if he's not, a threat. And, you know, I can tell you now, I mean, we saw how Julius Malema, he's always had things to say about white people and then moved on to Indian people. It'll get to a point where he's saying the same things about colored people. It'll come to a point where he's saying the same things about Zulus or, Tswanas or people who aren't Pedi or whatever, or, maybe Nguni's in general or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'll get to that point. He's a divisive person, and he uses this various kind of ideology just to push himself. As I say, he was always going on about, that Africa is actually one country and there shouldn't be borders. As soon as Action SA did pretty well in the municipal election, especially in Joburg, where Action SA got 16% of the vote and EFF actually went backwards. They lost 2 seats to the municipal council in Joburg. Same as in Tshwane, they actually went backwards in Tshwane. We saw that Julius Malema suddenly changed his, his tune, and he's saying, well, actually, we need to, maybe these people need to go back to where they come from. And he's also saying some very dangerous things just in terms of South Africans. We said Zulus, you would not go to a place in Polokwane and have a place where there are only Zulus working there. And he said vice versa in Durban. You wouldn't go to Durban and there'd be a business where there are only Pedis. So he's getting already quite, some dangerous tribalist and regionalist rhetoric. So it's all, none of what Julius Malema says surprises me. But I think people are starting to wake up. And as I say, the party did go backwards in some municipalities in 2020 last year compared to 2016. In some places they went back quite significantly, actually. In Polokwane, which is basically the EFF stronghold. I mean, Julius Malema is from there. In 2016, they got 30% of the vote in Polokwane. This election in November, they got 22% of the vote. And as I say, they went backwards in Joburg and Tshwane. And most of the country, they actually stayed still or went, just that small gains, only really in KwaZulu-Natal and, parts of the Eastern Cape and Northern Cape, they really see big gains. But in the rest of the country, they actually went backwards or they, were jogging on the spot. So I think a lot of South Africans, I think a lot of people who do vote for Julius Malema actually vote for him just as a kind of a protest vote. They don't necessarily agree with everything he says. They don't want to vote for the ANC anymore, and they might have their issues with the DA or whatever other kinds of parties there are. So I don't think there are many people who vote for the EFF who are really behind their kind of hateful rhetoric and, really want some kind of Afro-socialist dictatorship in South Africa. So I think a lot of people are seeing through the EFF. And yeah, a lot of people seem to think that Julius Malema is going to be president of South Africa one day, including himself. But yeah, I don't think so. The only way he would get that is if he, returns to the ANC and, makes his way, becomes deputy president in an ANC EFF coalition or something. But if he remains in the EFF, we'll never see Julius Malema presidency in this country.
Yeah, that was a very funny moment in the trial. Rob, your opinion on mainstream media and how they've been just talking about this trial?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that has been quite fascinating, but not unexpected. I don't think at all. As Morris definitely pointed out there, that Julius Malema was definitely the media darling, always has been, and he was definitely created by the media. So it stands to reason that he will be as controversial as possible to grab the media's attention in everything that he does. But I have to commend Advocate Mark Oppenheimer's ability there. That was fascinating, the way he just kept feeding Malema rope, because he knew that Malema, everything that he does is to attract media attention. So I think the way, and it worked well. It really worked really well. The way he just kept giving him enough rope so that he would actually hang himself and expose who he really was, and expose the media at the same time, which is exactly what happened. I think I only saw one alternative news network or some other media channel. Is that yours? Not yours, is it? But it was some media channel had one article about Afriforum, which was praising Afriforum in one way, but not one media outlet actually said anything about his quote there, where he refused to pledge to not kill white people, call for the killing or slaughter of white people. To me, that should have been headline news. In fact, that should have been global news. The, that's astounding. The leader of the third largest political party in South Africa making a statement like that and refusing to take a pledge, even though he changed his tune mid sentence. It was quite bizarre. So I think the media um, have got some answering to do. They really do. Where's the honest and non-biased reporting? It clearly does not exist. And if anything that this trial has exposed is that media bias, and I think that's the greatest win out of this whole trial. Even if I actually don't care at this stage what the outcome is, what the judgment is against Malema, but I think everyone has woken up to the fact that the media created him, the media support him, and the media will never say anything bad against him. They will always attack AfriForum for who knows what reason, but that's just the game that they play. But yeah, I think that's the media needs to be held to account here. They really do.
And Ernst, I left you last for a reason because you're the representative of Reform. You've been every day at this trial, and Deborah even here saying Daily Maverick came out in criticism of both Malema and Afriform. I mean, I cannot imagine what it's like for someone who was in the trial, for someone who's part of this organization. And, Malema says all these horrible things that should alarm everyone, and yet somehow, Reform is still the bad people. I mean, come on.
No.
What's your thoughts here?
No, absolutely. I mean, I was there. I looked Malema in the eye. I was there also when we exited the court building and the EFF supporters chanted at us in our faces, "Kill the Boer, kill the farmer." And then you hear Julius say these absolutely heinous, vile, deplorable things. And then the next day you read in the paper, oh, yeah, the organization you working for AfriForum means you're exactly the same as this monster. I mean, it's bizarre, but it's as Rob said, it's not unexpected. I think our standards are have dropped very low when it comes to this type of analysis. I mean, if you can't see, honestly, like genuinely can't see the difference between AfriForum and the EFF, and you think these two are two sides of the same coin, you are either ignorant or being malicious. And I think at this point, there's not a lot of room left for the ignorance excuse. This is now going into maliciousness territory. I don't think these people writing these columns, these comment class people, really believe that AfriForum and the EFF are the same thing. That's just the narrative that they've latched onto. That's the narrative that makes them feel nice and fuzzy inside when they say it. But now put yourself in my shoes as someone that works for AfriForum, someone that was screamed at that by people, that a violent chant that would kill the Boer, kill the farmer. It was brought up in this court case that farmer means whiteness. It means white people. and people are chanting in your face that they want to kill you and they want to see you killed. And then the media comes out and says, yeah, you guys are actually the same thing. You, the target, and the people chanting they want to kill you are the same thing. It's absolutely bizarre. But in the end, I think I tweeted this week that there's very few things that motivate you like injustice. There's very few things that put a fire in your chest like being confronted by genuine wickedness, and that's definitely what happened this past week. And I'm more motivated than ever. Like I said, I'm working like a demon when it comes to writing and organizing and designing campaigns and really doing my part in regards to exposing Julius Malema for exactly what he is. And I'm very proud to be doing it. And I'm also very glad to specifically channels like yours and other channels in the alternative media sphere for actually bringing the real angles and the real news and the real analysis when it comes to this story. You are not wasting your time with absolutely trivial stuff, as many of these journalists have made ascendant to their headlines of like Julius Malema said he's going to be president one day. I think you put like a clip on your channel and that's it, but they make that the story. They're like, Julius Malema said this thing, and it's reprehensible, and they should be ashamed of themselves if they think that's the real story, and that's the story that the world and the country needs to see. But if the civil rights organization AfriForum taking people like Julius Malema that's been exposed for what he is to court, it's made possible by our members. And if you're not a member yet, you can visit our website and click join and become a member if you're in South Africa. Or if you're abroad, you can become a friend of AfriForum by also just Googling Friends of AfriForum and becoming a member there if you're abroad. And then, if you're out of the loop in this court case, I don't blame you. It's hours and hours. I attended the entire court case and I had to rewatch it now because I'm writing a lot on it and I can't misquote someone. I can't get my facts wrong. So I had to rewatch the entire thing. I'm still in the process of rewatching it. So yeah, if you want to get that context, you want to get specifically a focus on Julius Malema's cross-examination with full context and full referencing on where he said what, go check out my YouTube channel where I just did a deep dive analysis on it this evening, and it got a very good reaction, which I'm very grateful for.
Yes, I'm definitely going to go watch it after we're done at the stream here. Definitely want to take a look at that.